Yeah, so guys, all right, cool, brilliant. So yeah, one of the big features of Poetry and Poppadums is that we, as well as working with some of the country's best spoken word artists, we work with some of the country's newest best spoken word artists. And it gives me massive pleasure to introduce from Manchester, also from Oxford, also from nowhere, from somewhere, from everywhere. Can you please put your hands together for a massive new talent in a first London gig tonight, please? Can we hear it for Skye Radford?
Almost as happy as I am with my new fluffy notepad. I bought it just for this occasion, so you're welcome. It's also got eyes, so if I'm looking at it, it's looking at you. Cool. Yeah, nice. So I'm going to do some short poems today for you that kind of take you on a journey. I don't know you, and you don't know me, but you will at the end of this step. So they start a little rough, a little sort of close to home, some deep and dark ones, and then a promise by the end that they go up and you'll feel great at the end. So don't be downhearted. So yeah, me, you, and the fluffy book on a journey. I quite like to start my sets with a little bit of breathing, just because I like the idea of connecting with you and it not just be me up here performing to you. It's actually a collective experience. We're all in this together. So I'm gonna initiate some breathing and then just go straight into the first poem. Also, my poems are quite short, so feel free to not clap after everyone. They're in little sections, so I can give you a little cue, like you can clap now. But also, you don't have to clap. Also, if you feel the need to at any point, just spontaneously, I'd also love that. So yeah, you do you. That's pretty overdone. No, perfect. Right, so if you feel comfortable to, I'd invite you to close your eyes, but if you just want to do a soft gaze, that's absolutely fine. And then if we all take a big, deep breath in, and out, and in again, and out, and one more time, in, and out. Writing, pen to paper. Words flow so easy, but hit the top of the head and fall. Tumble out. Fumble on the tongue, jumble on the page, make no sense, speak nonsense, forms a wall between you and me. A wall so high it towers you, surrounds you, closes in, holds your breath, won't let go until you stop. Stop and breathe. And think. It's easy. The way to get out. Just look. Stare. Smile. Frown. Glare. Wink. Wince. Nod. Rub. Tickle. Hold. Kiss. Touch. Scream and shout. Love. Then your words aren't needed. The walls come down and it starts. That feeling between you and me. Can you feel it? It's strong, it's warm, and I know, you know, this is it. This is why we are here. So my first few poems are about a time in my life that was a really big struggle for me. I found everything in the world so overwhelming. I found myself overwhelming. I found everyone in it overwhelming. It was so much, and I had a lot of things going on, sort of drinking and all of that stuff that probably doesn't help that much. So these poems are sort of birthed from that period in my life, and this one is about the sort of balance between things being too much and you being too much, and it's called Too Much. I was too much for the world today. My open heart became a deep, deadly cavern. My strong opinions became cutting criticisms. I was too much for the world today. My loving lessons became preaching without practice. My deep-rooted passions became traumatic reminders. I was too much for the world today. My need for space became mountains between us. My firm boundaries became a wall built too high. I was too much for the world today. I took it all in. I swallowed it up, I spat it out, and I told it to never speak again. The world was too much today. Speeding trucks on the motorway became a flash forward to fatal collisions. An ache in the ear became a lump on the bone. The world was too much today. Family conversations became fraught feuds and late night apologies. Mutual endings became lost friends and lovers. The world was too much today. Inside voices became repeating sirens. Hearts racing became last place in a marathon of marathons with no finish line. The world was too much today. It took me in, it swallowed me up, spat me out, and told me to never speak again. Following on from this theme is a pretty personal one to me, it doesn't need too much introduction. It's called Me Too. I'd like to say, but it's just too hard to. Every time I go to, my mouth is clamped shut like a car in the wrong spot. Hands on the wheel waiting for the right time or place or reason. I'd like to say, flip the words, whip them into vanilla so I can taste a sentence without an after bitterness, to enjoy my place at the table. I'd like to say, to describe, to explain, how it made me feel, how much it changed me, who it was, why we were there, why I allowed it. I'd like to say, just to say that I did, for all those that didn't, couldn't, and join those that already have. I'd like to say, but I didn't, couldn't, haven't. Will you still listen? The next one is again a deep dark one about my sort of drinking times, and off the back of that one, sort of spiral down that I went into. It's called The Inn Toilets. You can insert any pub name into that you like. Snorts covered by coughs and drunk girl love declarations. The soap dispenser sits alone, pressed and missed, leaving stains and dirty hands. Closing seemingly soundproof doors for a buddy bitching haven. Baby changing but no babies. Just change rolled up in secrets, stealing joy in the form of crushed powder and dreams. Then now that's what I call music of the CD world, outdated, outdone. Back when double vodkas were my double-decker desserts, rollies ready for the pub garden scene change, a play called A Life Before, I wish I was never cast in. This next section is about social media. It is a big enemy of mine, but also it's so prevalent with us now, especially like amongst my generation. It's been a big fight for me. I've come off most of it, slightly come back on because does need a little bit of promoting, but in general I don't tend to use it just because back to the too much poem. It was too much for me. There's a couple here about how I feel about our current sort of social media situation. This one's called Loopholes. I don't need to talk through what happened, I can send you a voice note instead. I don't need to tell you it's over because I can just leave you on red. I don't need to tell you I love you because a photo of us is kind of the same. I don't need to tell you you're beautiful, I can just heart that new picture by your name. I don't need to tell you I'm happy because I can use my silence, gives that away. I don't need to tell you I'm busy, you can just look at my last scene today. I don't need to tell you I'm suffering because I'll just use my silence again. Actually, on second thoughts, I really need you, and all this is just hurting my brain. dead people library. It's sort of a metaphor for some of the acts we may use. In a moment of panic, I imagine them all in a book. Ones that haven't said a word since I got on that train. Ones that never said they loved me even though they felt the same. Ones that took me for granted, then said I was to blame. Ones that left me with nothing except a heart full of pain. Those that listened to my story but didn't buy the book. Those that liked the view from the window but refused a second look. Those that tried on all my t-shirts and with my favourite one they took my heart and left it hanging on a lonely empty hook. People I'll never see again. People I'll always want to. People I left for dead after everything we went through. People that made up lies and stories. People that believed they were true. People that meant the world and now nothing. People that remind me of you. And in that exact moment of panic, I put the phone away. I hold my heart in my chest and I tell myself, I'm here, I'm alive, and it's okay. You'll be pleased to know that that's all the really sad ones over. And this is my attempt at. So when I was writing all my poems and sort of collating a collection, I looked at them and thought, these are pretty deep and dense. So I thought I've got to write a funny one. I didn't force it too much, but one day it just started coming to me, and it is a bit ridiculous. So I've never read it out loud, so you're welcome. It's called The Solution. Money worries makes me scurry away in a hurry to somewhere sunny. Oh wait, that costs money, so I probably won't scurry away in a hurry. It's all a bit funny how we worry about money. Maybe we should all just stand still. That's the start of the funny ones journey. I'm sure it can only go up from there. So we've gone through the sort of hard, heavy stuff that happened, and yeah, that's hard and heavy. But I had a real point in the last sort of 8 months where things just completely changed for me. I'm sober now. Doing a lot of healthy things for myself. And what really changed it was I went on a Buddhist retreat. And yeah, if you haven't met a Buddhist, they are the happiest people in the world. And it's just lovely being around them, even if you don't agree with anything they stand for. But so this was what I wrote while I was with them, in a community with them for a little while, on a meditative walk. So it doesn't have a title, but it's just to the Buddhists. There we go. I have fallen in love, not with a woman, person, man or being, not with a thing, a place, a food or a meal. I have fallen in love, not with a sound or a smell, not with a view, a taste, a touch or a feeling. I have fallen in love, not with a dream or a moment, not with a thought or a memory. I have fallen in love with each breath. With each breath you took to bring you here, and with the space in between each breath, the space in between us that lessens bringing me to you. I have fallen in love with the unseen magic that is held above our heads as we sit silently together, with the untold stories that dance and shimmer behind your eyes. And when the space is held, does not grow or diminish, but our community builds. Each day I fall in love with our collective hearts, awoken by a birdsong each morning, opened by the teachings of those that came before us. That one was a pleasure to write. So yeah, we've done Buddhists. What's next? Breakup. Yeah, big breakup. Did the retreat, had a big breakup because I realised wasn't what I needed. So the next few are about that and processing that. This is a little wee one, a little short one. There's a couple of short ones called Constellations. Looking up at the stars, you said, wherever you are in the world, we will always be looking at the same stars. I don't want to be defined by our view, in what configuration our stars lay on the page above us. I want to be the stars that make up the sky. There we can both shine in space together, but without you, I shine just as bright. Yeah, this is about my breakup again, but it's for all of you. So if you can relate and resonate in any way, this one's for you. It's called Wholeness. Wanting you this much makes you seem so far away, unreachable, untouchable, maybe even invisible, not even a human form, faded in the background like a fog, goes right through me. Makes me think, were you even there at all? Are you there? Or is this just a figment of my imagination, to ease the longing, the yearning, squeezing it out of you, him, her, them, us, trying to fit you in like the last piece of a puzzle? But the puzzle is you, and it's complete. So that piece, the one you're jamming in, it doesn't fit. It's not meant to be. It's part of another puzzle. A whole different picture, a whole different story. So next time you look at your puzzle, your picture, your story, make sure you see it as it is. Full, no need for new pieces, perfectly complete. Next is travelling. So I broke up and did the classic, right, well, I need to leave the country now. So did that for a bit. This is a really short one called Traveller. Rain batters on the roof, but trickles off my heart. It's waterproof, coated in the warm feeling of accomplishment, of wandering the world. This one is a similar theme. It's about the breakup and the travelling, and being with people that don't want the same things is really hard to accept, right? It's hard, and when you want to go and travel and maybe someone else wants to stay, and it's very hard to compromise. So I wrote this about that sort of struggle and coming to that acceptance, and it's called Meet You Out There in the World Someday. If, after all your searching, you crave to hold your child, to nest at home, to sleep safe and sound at night, to lay foundations that will pass down your name, to hold someone tight until the end, to stay, it is this you must do. And I will send love to you and your family wherever you may be. But if, after all your searching, you find that your path is still winding, that your journey has new directions to take, that there are corners of this earth still to explore, that there are things yet to master, that there is a bigger service for you to serve, that this must be done alone, then it is this you must do. And I will meet you out there in the world someday. Am I right for that? Yeah, sweet. Let's get that one. Rubbish. Cool. This is what the first poem I wrote ever, and it was not very long ago. And I was in Portugal. I left, and I was in this bizarre community, trying to find myself. And I've always described it as the pen started moving without me even sort of thinking. It just came. So whether it's any good or not, I don't know, but it means a lot to me. It's the first time that I realised that this is something I could do. It's called First and Foremost. Finally there. Finally a place I want to be. Finally a journey I can be proud of. A place to rest. Be content, free fall and trust. Trust what I have, trust what I will have. Take time to move, take time to breathe. Make time. Hold it, stretch it, watch it go by like a wave. Transform into a bigger thing. Bigger than me, bigger than you, bigger, way bigger than our minds can imagine. Let go. Let go of what was, what will be, what they were, what could be. Relish. Relish in the power. Relish in the good. Be. Be in the hard, the ugly, and the painful. Be when it's too much, when it's not enough, when you've had enough. Choose. Choose this. Choose now. Choose you. Yeah, before my last one, I'd just like to say again, thank you so much, and massive thank you to Paul for getting me up here. It really has been a pleasure. I feel like this is really the start of something for me. I felt with all the poems at the start, the sort of theme is, I really didn't have a voice at that time in my life, and I had all this sort of bubbling and brewing inside me, and now it's out and it's here, and it feels so good. So thank you for being witness to that. This last one is one I wrote fairly recently in a dance workshop. I had some sort of words flash into me to sort of write down, and if you get any writers will know if you get it in your head, it's got to go down rapid. Because it just dissipates. So I started writing, it was coming out, and the teacher, who's now a very good friend of mine, came and lit a tea light next to me, because it's quite a dark room, and it fueled the poem somehow. You can hit, you'll know. So yeah, it's special to me. But yeah, thank you so much, and if you want to follow me on any of the one social media things I have, which is Facebook, Skye Lilly, Skye like the Isle, and Lily with 2 L's. So this one's called People Dancing in a Room Called Life. Turns out the faces I see, the ones I see above me, doing better things, making better things, they're lighting the candle for me. Choosing my song to dance to show to others, look what they did. Showing me the pages of my book I still have left to write on. The ones I've always held so high above me are actually right there beside me. Beside my empty seat waiting to be filled, booking out the room so we can dance and cry together, secretly holding my hand behind my back, both in the sun, but my face turned away. Turns out every time I was putting up ladders, I was taking a step down. Turns out all I needed to do was turn my face towards the sun to see that we're all under the same one. And all those climbing up ladders, they're going nowhere. The sun is shining wherever we are. And their gratitude, the ones lighting the tea light for me, that's my gratitude too. When they are thanking everyone in the room, I am thanking everyone in the room, never just the one being thanked. So no longer will I stand in a room full of dancers and feel like I'm dancing below them, in the stalls watching their performance, their show. We're all in this play together. We are all the main parts, the ensemble and the audience. We are the lights, the sound, the script, the stage production and the stage. We can all marvel as the act unfolds. And when the show's over and the curtain's drawn, we can clap and roar for the beauty of what was. Because no one forgot their lines. Well, almost. A few slip-ups here and there, a few improvised sections, mistimed musical interludes and wardrobe malfunctions, but the storyline's still very much intact. We are the prodigy, the legend, the hero and the villain. We are the CEO and the apprentice. We are the director. We are the art. So roll up. Take your seat. The show's already started, and you're on. Thank you.
Guys, keep those hands going. It's one thing out, so keep them going, guys. Her mum's here. That's so cool, everybody.